the way I describe it to people is the the threshold I walked through, the doorway of a club, it was like those doors sealed me in a plastic bag of shame. And that plastic bag was, I was slowly running out of oxygen. You know, I almost took my own life. And that, the thing about this plastic bag of shame is, you know, if you try and look through plastic, it distorts your vision. You know, nothing seems clear. And that's how I was, you know, unaware, but I was looking at everything in my life through this distorted lens and nothing made sense because I was suffocating, you know?
Thank you for sharing that. That's really beautiful and also really haunting. And I felt that so deeply because I've been there, you know, and yeah, it was quite similar as well. Like when I was at the depth of my addiction, I had lost hope entirely. And with deep shame and deep regret, I found like drinking was my thing and that I had so much shame and regret and remorse that it was that feeling of when I picked up a can of drink and it went down me and it would sit and burn inside my stomach, but my mind would switch off. And it was like I switched off all that shame for a very small period of time, you know? And to me, that's what addiction is, right? We talk about the disease of addiction, but there's that dis-ease with life itself, and it's really hard to describe. And we're talking about substance versus gambling, like they're two totally different things, but the way that you just described that gave me shivers and goosebumps on my arms because I could really relate, and thank you so much. Your husband, I don't know whether you confided in him, but when he helped you seek this person out, that's a really magical moment.
I think that night really shook him as far as it actually disrupted him out of his pain to realize I was drowning. And that's the funny thing about, you know, when you're in close proximity to somebody and they're in pain and you're in pain, but you are trying so hard to get the other person to validate and see your own pain that you don't have the space or the awareness to be able to recognize the other person's. You're too busy operating from your own sense of righteousness or perspective. And that moment, yeah, he got it and he understood that this was life or death for me. And he set aside his pain to meet me in mine. And that compassion is so necessary to create safety for people to be able to meet help where they need to be and to not be met with judgment, but to be met with helping them build new skills of awareness, firing up curiosity to understand what things have impacted them that they can't see if they're only looking at it through what's wrong with me? Why am I broken? You know, does that make sense?